Welcome to the best Cypher setups on Ascent. Now that he's been nerfed, you're going to need the best of the best to use him properly. In this video, we'll learn how to report our ally Cypher. The first and only step, have them put this wire, or this one, or this other one, or maybe this one. Thanks for watching the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, now seriously, let's discover the best setups that we've been able to find for each site on Ascent and even mid. Let's get into it. For A site, let's start with these wires. The first wire will be directly at the site's entrance, and it crosses directly from the boxes to the wall. Don't ask me how it sticks here, but it does. Thanks, Riot. And for the second wire, we're gonna go to garden. From the entrance wall, we're gonna put a wire that goes directly to the door. This wire is very useful as it covers two different entry points, and that's super cool. It'll stop the garden entrance and any rotations through the door. And now let's move on to the cages, which we're going to use as one-ways. For the first one, we'll go into this corner and aim at the edge of this hovering house. We'll jump and throw the cage so that it falls on the upper part of the site's entrance. For the second cage, we'll put the cage on top of the light that's in the shape of a triangle. Finally, for the camera, super easy. We'll hop on the boxes mid-site, and while jumping we can place it in this corner near the windows. With this angle, we can check the entire site, heaven, and most importantly, the garden entrance. So as you can see, this site is completely defended. We can defend the entrance one way from the left side of heaven, or the back of site without them being able to see that area at all. And the same goes for the garden cage. We can cover it from the whole site. In fact, if we stick to the wall, we can see the whole back of garden, and again, they can't see anything. Try it out and let us know what you think. Okay, and to continue, there's a second option for this site that would have a little bit more of a defensive stance with some uncommon wires. The first wire goes from the generator to the boxes. It's an incredibly long wire that covers almost the entire length of the site. Between shots, someone will surely walk into it. And the second wire, one that I really like, from this little corner next to the door, we can attach it to this wall. I love it because it covers both the entrance from garden and the attackers entering too close to the door. Super unexpected and pro strats in my opinion. For the cages, we'll put the same one as before in the previous setup, but on the other side of the entrance. To do that, we're gonna stand in this corner and aim a little bit below these skyscrapers. You'll throw it without jumping, and there it is. The second one is a little bit more creative. We'll look at the edge of this wall and aim at the gap between these leaves. And again, we'll throw without jumping. The cage will then fall on this tree, and we're gonna ignore the other cages on top of the lantern. That was just for fun. Okay, and lastly, the camera. You're gonna boost yourself on top of the generator from heaven and jump aiming at the edge of this wall. This camera can cover the whole site, including generator, which wasn't visible with the other camera. Anyway, I recommend the previous one here too. It's easier to set up and just as useful. Obviously, you can change these combinations as you like, and just in case, I'll leave you with a couple of extra wires that, although they're not as comprehensive, may still be useful situationally. The first one is directly on the door. As you can see, it's still pretty hard to destroy. Then we have another wire at the bottom of generator. This wire is pretty rare, and most likely they'll trip over it or destroy it, but the goal is just to prevent them from taking the site when they plant. And the next one is kind of meh, but situationally, it might be useful to you at some point. Okay, and now we're gonna head over onto B site. Oh, well, here, actually, I forgot the camera, so let's go back to A. In the meantime, I remind you that if you don't want 7 years of bad luck, you do have to follow our new Giant XVCT account on all social media. That way you'll get all the news about our new roster, who now more than ever needs all of your support. Okay, yeah, sorry. Now let's go to B. In this case, I'm gonna be honest. In my experience with tripping on wires, I'm clear on which two are the best without a doubt. First of all, the one that you're gonna wanna go with is from this wall to the switch boat. It covers the whole hallway where they're gonna enter site and the boat area in case they wanna close the door. And the second wire, one that I really like, goes from the second wooden stump to the wall. Again, it covers the entrance to the hallway and also the entrance to the rest of the site. Super, super good. Anyway, if you want wires that don't have to do with any of the previous ones, here are some alternatives. You could have one wire that goes from the frame of this door to the boat, which is a bit more of a passive wire that you could use to defend CT. And then this one that goes from the wall to the site's boxes. We can then combine it with a cage that could give someone a scare, but it's not a wire to play alone with on the site since they can jump here and then you'd be completely exposed. For the cages, once again, we're going with the one-ways. For the first one, you're gonna put your crosshair on this lantern, and then you're gonna aim a bit to the right of the corner of this house in the sky, and throw. For the second cage, a little bit more passive. From the site's boxes, we're gonna aim at the sky, and at the edge of this cloud, you'll throw. The cage will fall on the roof, and it will help you cover the stairs that they'll be using to entry. Finally, a camera that I love. Let's go to market. And from this edge, we're gonna jump, aiming above the window until it lets us place it. As you can see, this camera covers market, CT, and more. But most interestingly, we're gonna be able to get information super fast about how many people enter through garage. And this is how the setup would look. The one way at the entrance covers just enough to be able to shoot at people's feet without them seeing anything, or even having to expose themselves too much. And same with the one at the stairs. You'll be able to see their entire body before they can even see a single pixel. It's a 10 out of 10. But before we go to mid, I want to show you a much more aggressive one way. We're gonna snuggle up to this boat and use this as a reference. You'll throw your cage without jumping and it'll land right here. It's an aggressive cage that will allow you to get first blood right at the start of the round. But it's also super dangerous, because even though they can't see anything from their side, you have to be super mindful of a rush or the possibility of an enemy escaping to the side and suddenly appears in your face to finish you off with their wonderful pistol from the Giant X VCP bundle, with which you can gain an extra 400% precision in ranked if you buy it right now. So it's a good cage to catch them off guard, but I'd take it with a grain of salt. Now let's go to mid for a couple of options in case they've left this area to you for some reason, and you want to stop putting this wire like a complete maniac. You have this wire, which is extremely easy to set up and difficult to break, to be honest. And here's a fun cage that you can use. You just have to stand on this step and aim at the center of this corner of the bell tower. You'll throw the cage while jumping, and you'll have a super aggressive and low risk one-way right at the start of the round. As you can see, they won't be able to spot you from their side. To complete the mid defense, we can place one of two cameras. For the first one, we're gonna go on top of this flower pot, and while jumping, we're gonna place it on this lamppost. We can see all of mid without any exceptions, including the attacker entrance to garage to be able to see if they're rotating. The only problem is that it is quite exposed. But here's a slightly more passive camera. On top of these pizzas, same procedure. We're gonna jump and place it on this lamppost. With this camera, we can see if someone peeks mid or the entrance to market, and even our spawn in case an enemy lurks as the round progresses. And that's it! We hope that these setups serve you well, and you keep taking advantage of Cypher post-nerf. By the way, what do you think about Cypher's nerf? And which other agents do you think should be nerfed or buffed? As always, leave us a super powerful like and subscribe, because we're out here growing like foam, and we'll see you next time.